What? Almost like chewing tobacco.
Perfect.
These train carts are pretty old and the ride is pretty bumpy. For people to get to and from the city.
Get on, you really gotta pull yourself up.
We're currently at the Yangon Central Station in downtown Yangon, Myanmar, and we are about to get on Yangon's circular train system that was actually built over 60 years ago. And it is an old train system that's still in place, undergoing renovations in certain areas, and that is expected to be done in the early 2020s. For now, these trains have been imported, or the train carts have been imported from Hungary and Japan several years ago, and they are old and rough, and this is the way that a lot of people in Yangon go to and from the city, because this train line actually does a circle around the surrounding towns of Yangon. But right now, due to the renovations, we can't do a full circle. We can only go about halfway and then turn around and come back. So we are about to do that, and we'll keep you posted with how it's going. Yangon's circular train system that was actually built over 60 years ago. The Yangon Central Station in downtown Yangon, Myanmar. You want to lead the way so that you can get the camera, or you want to walk
just go ahead and sleep on a seat.
Old and rough, and this is the way that a lot of people in Yangon go to and from the city.
Yeah.
The mic on?
Yep.
Alright, so that was a kind of rough and rushed intro, and that's because we were about to miss our train. We got, I think, on the second to last train going west of the day at about 4:30, and with that we can go for about an hour, then switch trains to the east line, and then come back. So as I mentioned, this train So as I mentioned, these train carts are pretty old and the ride is pretty bumpy, but it seems like this is actually one of the main ways of transportation for people to get to and from a city, with upwards of about 100,000 commuters every day on this train. So it's pretty crazy, very hot. You're not going to get any AC on this train, but it is a very interesting way to see the outskirts of the downtown area.
Go ahead. I'll be back.
Up there.
Hello. back of the train to the front. And you can see there's a lot of people on this train. Hello, Galaba.
Actually, one of the main ways of transportation for people to get to and from the city, with upwards of about 100,000 commuters every day on this train.
I'm gonna go see if I can find Mandy all the way at the other end of the train. No YouTube, right? This is it, same?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. You wanna?
Right. Right side.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is our stop. Slow rolling in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
It was nice to meet you.
Okay. Nice to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. All right. So we made it.
Is this the train that we're supposed to get on now?
Probably.
All right, let's go.
Go ahead. I'll follow you.
Ready?
Yeah.
So we are in Incheon, or at the Incheon stop right now. So this is where we get off to switch to get on the east line back to downtown Yangon. So we were on the train for about an hour and we were completely packed like sardines. Like we were not expecting it to be that packed. So I think it's because maybe it's like towards the end of the day, so everyone's going back home. So we didn't sit down and just kind of stood up and was squished in the entire time. But now on our way back to the city, might be a little less crowded. We'll see.
So when you get on, you really got to pull yourself up because it's quite a drop off. So they got these things here, you can just grab on, step, pull yourself up.
We're trying to figure out which train we actually get on. So there's one kind of parked here, but we don't know if it's the train we're actually supposed to get on right now. So I'm about to go find somebody and ask them. And we're having to use Translate a lot so far, Google Translate, so hopefully we can find someone that can tell us which train or what time our train is coming.
All right. So the gentleman right behind us, right back here, what do they look like? They're dressed in uniform.
Yeah, I don't know if they're security or if they're just employees for the train station, but we asked them what time the train comes and which train is ours, and it is indeed the train that I pointed to a moment ago.
Did you have to use the translate?
I did at first, but then he started speaking to me in English.
Oh, okay.
So we've got 30 minutes to chill out before this train is going to depart. We'll be back on it for another hour, going back to downtown to the Yangon Central Station. This time, we're gonna get on a little earlier so that we can choose our seat. So when we first got to the station, to the Central Station and downtown, we got on the train, we had seats, but we didn't have the camera ready yet. And so we hopped off the train, assembled the camera, and then got back on, and it was completely like nowhere to sit, barely anywhere to stand. And so this time we're gonna get on earlier. We learned our lesson so that we can get a seat. Good.
Good? Yeah, so that was pretty rough. I was standing the whole time holding the camera up, and so I'm pretty tired, sweaty, and the ride was packed like all the way out. And I walked from one end of the train through the middle of the whole crowd all the way down to the end, and as I was going, there were a lot of smiles, a lot of people kind of giving me a thumbs up and things like that, so that was cool to see. And then by the time I was on my way back down the train, I actually met some people who tried to talk, and the English was really broken, but they basically wanted to get a photo with us, and so we did that, and we tried to communicate a little bit, but it was really broken. So that seemed to be the case for most people. And then right when we were trying to leave, they were trying to teach us a little bit of Burmese, because as of right now, we only know how to say hello, which is Mingalaba.
Say it again.
Mingalaba, or Mingalaba, if you say it fast.
So what did they try to teach you?
They tried to teach me how to say thank you very much, and I've heard this before. Like when we're walking around, people say that, so it sounded familiar, but like it was so chaotic, they were trying to give me the pronunciation, and it was kind of too hard, but I will learn that very soon.
Oh, I see.
So when we first started, when we first started in Yangon, I went to the restroom. It was 200 Kyat there, and then here it is 100 Kyat to use the restroom, which is not a bad deal. In most of all of Southeast Asia so far, we say restroom, but in Southeast Asia you say toilet. As you can see, toilet.
Am I good?
Yeah.
All right, we just got on our train to go east back into the city, and as we thought, this one is a lot less crowded, so far at least. than the one that we got on to come west. So I think we depart in about 8 more minutes, so we'll see if it gets super packed within that time frame that we have left. This particular cart seems to be one that was imported from Japan. And during the intro, I said that the carts were from Hungary and Japan, and I was rushed because we were trying to make it onto the cart before it left. But the ones from Hungary are like decades old, and the ones from Japan are from like 2007, I think I read. So not as old, but as you can see, they're still pretty rough, and I think that the ride's still going to probably be pretty bumpy. But it's interesting because all of the characters on the signage are in Japanese letters. Some type of plant that people chew, almost like chewing tobacco. Very interesting way to see the outskirts of the downtown area. Very hot. You're not going to get any AC on this train. It's a really cool way to see local life in Yangon. That were coming to and going from the city with their goods, their produce, their shopping, just going back and forth, and so it was just really interesting to kind of see the daily life and to just observe. There were lots of activities going on in the train. There was lots of people selling things, anywhere from food to drinks to SIM cards.
Dang.
But
So this is some type of, it's like corn base. It smells like corn. You see it?
not when you do that. How much was it?
This was 100 Kyat, which is, we'll put it up after the fact, but 100 Kyat.
About, what is that? 14th of a US dollar?
Yeah.
Or 15th of a US dollar.
I'm gonna take a bite.
Okay. Does it taste like fried? It almost looks like fried wonton noodles.
It actually has a good taste. Like at first it was tasting like cornflakes. Like it smells like corn and it kind of tastes like cornflakes, but it's like sweeter. You wanna take your bite?
Yeah, I will in a minute.
All right.
So it's about 2.5 hours later from when we first departed Yangon Central Station, and now we're back, and it is about 7 o'clock now. So we left at 4:30, got back at 7, and just a few kind of details that we didn't give at the beginning, which is to actually take the circular train, you come and you purchase a ticket at the train station for currently 200 Kyat is the price, and that equates to 1/7 of a US dollar about, and so that's about like 12 or 13 cents, and that will allow you to ride the circular train the entire day. So you can get off on however many stops you want to get off on and get back on, and it's good for that day. And a guy that was sitting next to me on the train at some point told me that you need to make sure to keep your ticket, because sometimes they do come onto the train and ask for proof of your ticket, and if you don't have it, then you can get fined and pay much more than the 200 Kyat that the ticket would have cost. So there were lots of activities going on in the train. There was lots of people selling things, anywhere from food to drinks to SIM cards to little electronic devices, as well as something that we're not sure exactly what it is yet. We still have to research, but it appears that there is some type of plant that people in Myanmar chew, and it actually like kind of dyes the inside of their mouth as they chew it red, and then you spit it out, almost like chewing tobacco, but I'm not sure what the plant is. But there were so many vendors on the train selling that stuff, so that was really interesting. Got to look into what exactly that is. Overall, this was a really cool way to see local life in Yangon. It seemed like just many people that were coming to and going from the city with their goods, their produce, their shopping, just going back and forth. And so it was just really interesting to kind of see the daily life and to just observe. And I'm glad that we actually got to do this before the train upgrade happens, and which will be done like in early 2020s, I think I read. Because I don't know, this just seemed kind of like I guess nostalgic for back in like, I don't know what I was gonna say. Yangon Central is the largest train station in Yangon, but I'm not sure about in all of Myanmar. So if you happen to know, let us know in the comments. But this is an extremely old station. It was built in 1877 by the British, and you can really see that in all of the architecture. From the outside, it looks pretty massive. Is it recording?
Yeah.
Mic's on?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. We're currently at, I ain't got nothing else.
All right.